The Line is recorded in front of a live studio audience. You're listening to the Line Sports Talk podcast. It is December 22nd, 2016. Coming up on the last of it as far as our regular season picks. No buys this weekend. We got time to do the Thursday night game and everything else that follows. So without dragging our feet, let's get it going. PepperJack and Joey Peeps, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas.
That's my boy. Doesn't ever have a nice thing to say.
Nope. Lifelong member of the naughty list, boys and girls.
You are the naughty list. Get up here, you piece of shit. We got a little bit to talk about. A lot of football games, a couple good ones, a couple really shitty ones. So as we talked about in pre-production, let's just blow past some of the garbage and get to the ones that matter, because there really are some games that matter this week and next week. And before we get into all that, a big Merry Christmas again to everybody else out there. But PepperJack, you and I both last week, after that monumental 25-3 braggadocious Week 15 that we was it Week 15? It was Week 14 that we stormed the gates and went a combined 25-3. Last week, not so hot, but not so bad. I was 8-7, and you were a paltry 9-6. It's really not a bad week. Staying over 500 is in the plus column if we're out in the desert, so not horrible.
Well, according to the big boys out in the desert, you're beating the odds. So
yeah, that's right. That's right, and not paying juice. A couple things that we hit on last week that were real obvious, like Buffalo hammering Cleveland. There was little to no doubt. A couple things that were surprising. I saw that New England game going low. I had it at 20-16. I had it going under, but I just didn't have it going as low as it did. We did know that Brady was going to struggle against that Denver defense. Bad week for quarterbacks last week, especially on the fantasy aspect. I know PepperJack and myself, we both got smoked in the family fantasy league, where, if I do say so myself, I think we had the two best teams.
Yep. I know I was sidelined Melvin Gordon and Julio Jones in my contest. That didn't help too much, but yeah, we did get smoked.
That seemed to be the tempo in every league I'm in, is whoever had Melvin and Julio Jones was in the playoffs up till that point and then out. So those are your big guns. You lose them, and then it just shit hits the fan, and it sucks. But we're going to try to motor through our picks tonight here, get this thing published before the...
I personally, as GM of the Canton Crackers, don't want to hear either of you two fucking whine.
Well, whatever.
Well, I tell you what, my wounds were self-absorbed this year, first to admit it. So,
yeah, maybe next year, kid.
Maybe next year. That's right.
Let's see if you can get off on the right foot in Week 16 of the NFL. Make your Line Sports Talk podcast picks the right one. And let's see if we can't close out that Sunday swim strong, because that's been a lot of fun. I can't wait to do that again next year.
It's coming down to the nitty-gritty between me and you. This week, I think this week means everything. So we'll take
It's nitty-gritty time for sure, man. But it's a lot of fun, right? You guys like it, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think we're almost playing for the crown this week, T.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I figured it would come down to the final week. It usually does. I've never seen anybody run away with a pool, so this isn't any different. But let's get it started, man. Tonight's actually a pretty good game. I know it's relatively meaningless, but it's a NFC East Classic. These games are never meaningless. These guys hate each other. It's a Thursday night game at the Link, national television, Christmas time. The Eagles fans will boo Santa Claus tonight if he makes an appearance. That's what they do. I think Eli this is where he turns it on. He's on a good football team. Odell Beckham Jr. is great. They lack a running game, but they can protect Eli. They can move the ball downfield, and that defense is very good up front and even better in the secondary. I'm going to make it real quick. Giants are a 1.5-point road dog here tonight. Philadelphia is -1.5, over under 42.5. I'll make it quick. I'm taking the Giants.
Yeah, no trouble for the fucking Giants, man. That 1.5-point dog that the Giants are in Philly this week is very, very, very interesting. Yeah, it almost screams. Isn't that tempting to say, like, oh, is that telling you something? Does that mean Philly's winning tonight?
That's how tempting it is. I already played it.
Whew. I'm going Philly with the upset tonight. I just think that's what that's telling you. I mean, could I be wrong? Probably, but I'm on a hunch here. I'm going to say Philly pulls the shocker tonight, 23-20.
Wow, PepperJack, what do you see here?
Road teams broke the bank last week, Tom, going 11-5 against the spread. I see them start right out on that same foot this week. I see the Giants beating the Eagles. Side note, Giants have only allowed 12.3 points per game over their last 3 games. So I'm not I would definitely jump on that under. I think you said 42.5. I think that's a safe bet. I see the Giants pulling it out 24-16. Close game with the over-under, but Giants, I don't understand how the Giants are road dogs here.
I don't either. I think they're a good team. Maybe they're talking about a lack of momentum coming off that big Dallas win. But, look, they've had time to be healthy. This was a short week, I get it, but this Giants team is healthy. It's a good football team. I don't think walkie-talkie gate is going to have anything to do with interfering with anything this team does. I had the Giants at 24-13, so you guys we're on the same page all the way around the board as far as PepperJack and I.
The Giants are that kind of team, though. They're a very, very up and down bunch, or have been in the past. So
this is where, Joe, I'm telling you, man, Giants are 8-1 straight up in the last 9 games, 7-2 against the spread. They've been a cover monster all year long. They're getting points on the road in a division game. I would like it if they were getting 3.5.
Interesting side note, Eli Manning threw 4 touchdowns the first time these two teams played this year, and I don't believe Eli has thrown I think he's only thrown for 3 one other time. So hopefully Eli has a good game tonight. I think the Giants roll.
I do, too. I think they roll. I think they pull on a head of steam, and they make some noise in the playoffs as an NFC favorite when it comes down the line. Moving on, man. Washington into the Windy City taking on the Chicago Bears. Washington is a road favorite, laying 3.5. Over-under in this game is a whopping 47 points. I mean that sincerely. That's quite a few points. Who wants it first?
Go ahead, Jack.
Well, I do know the Bears are pitiful at home in December. I think they're 2-11 straight up in their last 13 home games in December. Redskins, I think, I don't know if you guys thought about this. I didn't think about it going into the game. I thought that the Redskins would beat Carolina last Monday night, but it was hey, Josh Norman, we're not going to the playoffs and neither are you game, I think, for Carolina. I think that they showed up in a big way because they didn't want they wanted to make Josh Norman sit home along with them this year.
Yeah, it was a pride game, and they showed up. Cam played really well the other night. But
Cam.
I'll talk about Carolina, but again, I think I'm right. I think that the moment they get Ted Ginn involved and forget about forcing the ball to Travis Benjamin, they become the team they were last year.
Kelvin Benjamin or whatever his name is? Yeah.
Yeah, Kelvin Benjamin.
Well, I'll try to go briefly here. I don't think that Washington showed up Monday night. I think they show up in Chicago on Saturday. You said 3 points and 47, I believe.
3.5.
3.5? Okay, I'll still go Washington with the 3.5. Minus the 3.5, I'll say Washington 27, Chicago 20. It hits right on that 47, so be careful of that over-under.
Wow, big number. I'll be quick about this.
The Bears Joe, not as bad.
Joe, hold on.
The Bears not as bad.
I'll be quick, and then you can take this one.
Okay.
I'm taking Washington to win this game, but I think Chicago covers with that hook. Washington wins this one 27-20. Washington wins 27-24, but Chicago covers. I think Matt Barkley doesn't suck. I mentioned a few weeks ago that this kid might be able to play. Washington's defense is not wonderful. Jordan Howard has a nice day on the ground. Yeah, I think Washington wins the game, but Chicago keeps it close. Go ahead, Pete.
I'm just going to say, I tell you what, I've been thinking the same thing. Is Chicago just not as bad as as we think they are, or we have thought they were? Something. I mean, it might be John Fox because I tend to believe that guy's a very good head football coach. But this is where we find out about Jay Gruden. Mr. Jay Gruden, his team is what 8-7-1 at this juncture.
No, they're 7-6-1.
7-6-1. Okay, vying for a spot, one of the last spots in the playoff.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go and take the Washington Redskins to win 27-20, but I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so confident on that one because I just don't know. I mean, maybe this team will fall apart at the seams because a lot of this they kind of seem like the team that will do that. But I'm going to take them to win this 27-20 on the road.
Matching PepperJack's play, they're putting it right at that 47. Here's another division game, Miami at Buffalo. Over-under here, 42 points. Buffalo is a 4-point home favorite. I want to start this one off because I love Miami in this game, and this is my lead pipe for this week. It's a division game. Division games in December. Miami, you're thinking a Florida team going up to Buffalo, going to play in some garbage weather. All those things. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't scare me in the slightest. I think Miami wins the game 33-21. I'm taking Miami in the 4 points. I like the overs here, too.
Is Ryan Tannehill back, or is this Matt Moore again?
I think it's Matt Moore.
Yeah, Tannehill
that
might not come back.
That makes it harder.
Matt Moore was the AFC Player of the Week last week, there, but he did thump your New York Jets.
Yeah, I mean, come on, get out there. I'll get the Don Merletti's Akron Buchtel football Griffins out there, and they'll do the same. But I could say one thing here. I got to go with the Bills, getting the 4 point, giving the 4 to Miami. Yeah, giving the 4 to Miami. I have to take Buffalo in this one. Matt Moore on the road, and here's the Dolphins. I don't know if this Dolphins team is accustomed to playing this acclimate weather that will be Buffalo on Sunday. And I'm not ready to really truly believe in this Miami Dolphins team yet. I haven't really seen anything along the lines. I mean, beating up the Jets. That's like, I'm not saying I'm Jean-Claude Van Damme by any means, but that's like me fighting an 8th grader. Come on, get the hell out of here. Buffalo in the snow, 20. Miami, 13.
20-13. PepperJack, what do you got?
Well, the Dolphins are 2-9 against the spread in their last 11 games on the road against the Bills. I know that we always talk about those trends, but they really don't matter what happened 11 years ago. But here again, it is December, and the Miami Dolphins are going to be going into Buffalo. I'm not certain as to what the weather is going to be like. I'm sure it'll be a little
36
chilly.
and partly cloudy.
Gotcha. Well, here's the one play that you got to look at is that over 42. 78% of the voting public is on the over in this game. So PepperJack is going to stick to the over, and I wouldn't touch the spread because you don't know how that weather is going to affect the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to say Buffalo wins the game 23-20. No, let's go 27-24.
27-24 Buffalo wins.
Goes over. But that spread is just a little bit. I think the bookies got it right where they want it.
I think they do. I like the overs on this at 42.6 touchdowns. I can see 3 on either side and a field goal to win it. I really can. But I think Miami's just the better team here. I know Buffalo's not particularly out of anything, but I just like the Dolphins. For some reason, this one jumped out at me. That team is somebody who I think they can finish this season 11-5. Very easily in a wild card, and they can wreak some havoc in the playoffs by just upsetting somebody's apple cart. But moving right along, we have an upcoming segment here that will probably begin next season once we finish all of these episodes. We're going to have Joey's Lexicon. We're going to go through and we're going to list all the words that Joey made up.
I sit here with a glass of vodka and a thesaurus.
I know you do, but you make up 2 fucking words every episode, and it is awesome, and I love it. So next year we're going to have a couple segments that are going to be Joey's Dictionary. It's going to be.
I tell you what, it's going to be the Joey Peeps Dictionary. Forget the Urban Dictionary. I'll forget all that, baby. That's what we need to use in this day society. Tell the kids on social media, all of them, this is what's hip.
Today's word of the day from Joey Peeps is acclimate. Acclimate. Definition: cold as fuck. All right, move along. Let's go to the
Love it.
Tampa Buccaneers traveling to New Orleans Superdome, take on a resurgent Drew Brees, who made me look like shit fantasy style last week. Take on the New Orleans Saints. Over-under here is a big one. It's at 52.5. New Orleans is a 3-point favorite. They lost to Tampa a couple weeks ago. The division game, it means a whole lot for Tampa Bay. It means something for New Orleans, too. Whoever wants it first, man. When do you guys jump it?
Doc Holliday versus Johnny Ringo. Shootout, baby. Shootout. I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay Bucks. What do you have them at? Getting 3 points?
The Buccaneers are getting 3 points, but I think that the weather could be an issue here.
Yeah, that tough dome weather. Who knows? Maybe someone left the air conditioner on too much, the night before. It could be something. But I'm going to take famous Jameis and the boys to win this game 31-28 in a relative shootout and probably a pretty fun game to watch. 31-28 Tampa Bay.
All right, PepperJack, what you got?
You know what? I didn't. What was the final 2 weeks ago? Do you have that handy?
I do. It was 16-11.
Yeah, it was a very close